All right, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram Live. We are back for our second live stream of the day. We just had a great feature release earlier today, the brand new functionality in the all-new Stryd app. Thanks everybody for joining. As always, my name is Evan. I'll be taking us through the presentation today. I do appreciate anybody tuning in on Instagram Live. This was the first time we tried it earlier today, and it was a lot of fun. What we're going to be talking about today is a Stryd quote-unquote run-through. So we wanted to give an example of how to best use some of the new features and how they fit in the overall Stryd ecosystem. And typically you'll get a walkthrough of new features, but at Stryd we're going to give you a run through to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more running focused. So Stryd run through, we're going to be talking about, again, like I said, all of the new features and how they can be best used in practical training, which is a great way to show you how basically how all these features can fit to you and your ability. If you have any questions during, I would say please feel free to send them to, if you're watching right now on YouTube, send them through the live chat, the Facebook Stryd community. Please feel free to leave a comment. And if you're watching on Instagram Live, please feel free to send them as well, and I'll be able to take some questions at the end. And for now, anybody watching, yeah, please feel free to wave if you're joining. Press the little heart icon as well. It's a lot of fun seeing those hearts go up. So how will you use Stryd? This example use case that we're going to talk about is somebody getting Stryd for the very first time, unboxing it, going through the full setup experience and hooking it up to their watch. We're going to talk about how you go from day zero, getting Stryd, taking it out of the box, and then taking you all the way through a full training cycle and a great racing schedule with Stryd. So first, talking about the actual Stryd experience. It allows you to overhaul your training routine, focus on something super simple, focus on the basics. Mastering the basics of running with power is something that you can absolutely do, incorporating Stryd into your training. You can learn your exact racing capabilities, no more guesswork come race day. You know exactly what you've trained for specifically and exactly how to best execute that and how to begin to perfectly pace your run by starting to use Stryd and starting to use power. Day one, the new Stryd intro plan is one of my favorite features in this release. The intro to power plan can be found if you go to your settings in the Stryd mobile app, you press training plans, and you scroll all the way down to intro. The intro plan is absolutely crucial to building your Stryd profile. It's only 2 weeks long, so you just need to dedicate 14 days to following the training plan. It helps you learn about Stryd, and it helps Stryd learn about you. So two very, very important things here. Once you've logged sufficient data, Stryd can make meaningful training recommendations. The intro plan, like I cannot begin to state more, it's for people who are not only new to using Stryd, new to training with power. It's for somebody who has been using Stryd for years but never really fully understood the full ecosystem. And now with this brand new release, we have so many brand new features that you can be shown the full benefit of if you use the Stryd Introduction to Power plan. We'll be talking more about the Intro to Power plan in a full webinar next week. So we're going to do a huge deep dive into a day-by-day breakdown for anybody that's curious about that. Again, talking more about the Intro to Power plan. Once you select it, you'll have a wide variety of runs. The variety of the data maximizes not only Stryd's learning about you, but helps you understand the differences between intensities and how it relates to a training plan. The sign-up experience in the Stryd app is fantastic. You just press select plan and all of those training days are dropped into your calendar. So this is day one. You have decided to start using Stryd. Day one, Introduction to Power plan. It's a great way to start off. Day number 3, we're going to take a little bit of a look at some of the examples of some of the different workouts, some of the different things that you might do on a intro to power plan, and then following that up with a normal plan or a time trial. So how does effort correlate with power? The Stryd intro plan is unique because it asks you to perform different outputs, different efforts, show your ability at different durations and distances during the plan. You'll start off with some shorter, harder efforts. You'll mix those with some longer sustained efforts. And at the end, you'll do a time trial. And the time trial will help make sure that your auto-calculated critical power is as accurate as possible. And that helps make sure that whatever training plan you roll into immediately next, that is going to be the thing that sets you up best for success. So on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook right now, you can see what an example day would look like. This is the first day. It would be a 10-minute warm-up, a 2-minute very hard section, and a 10-minute cool down. The thing that we really, really like about the intro plan and the flexibility of the Stryd training plans is that we can add a lot of description here. So the descriptions that come with the Stryd intro plan are so crucial to helping you understand how to best use Stryd in the whole ecosystem. So specifically, the first day asks you to run a 2-minute very hard section. You'll come back a couple days later with a 1-minute very hard section. The description here is going to encourage you to take a note, see how hard you ran on the 2-minute section, and set a goal and understand that you can output a higher power for a shorter amount of time and strengthen that concept in your mind of a power duration relationship. As we move on past the first couple days of using Stryd, over the course of the 2 weeks of the intro plans, there's learning opportunities and much, much more variety in the plan. Subjects over the 2-week period include things like auto-calculated critical power, going in depth on all the Stryd metrics, talking about the Stryd training zones, talking about running stress balance, and how to use Stryd on race day. So very, very crucial things to not only understanding how to follow a training plan over a 2-week period, but how to use Stryd to the best ability. The intro plan is a great, great learning opportunity there, and it's only a 2-week schedule. It really helps prime your fitness as well. And it might be something that you do at the beginning of a training block before you start into a 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon training, just to make sure you're in the swing of things and you're refreshed on all of the different things in the Stryd ecosystem. So day 15, let's say you finished the Stryd intro plan, you ran a great 5K time trial, you have a very accurate auto-calculated critical power. The next thing to do is to pick your race distance, to pick a training plan that is going to fit for you. So we can simply go again to the settings menu, go to training plans, and then you'll be presented with marathon, half marathon, 10K, 5K, base fitness, or doing the intro plan again. Since you did the intro plan just then for your first 2 weeks with Stryd, you'll select something like a marathon. You say that your goal race is on Sunday, January 3rd, 2021, and you want to start training on Monday, October 12th. This gives you full customization of the length of training cycle and the different time periods that you really want to play around with. And this gives you full customization on making sure that your training plan is specific to you as an individual. Being able to change the days around of when you want to start, when you want to finish is a great, great, great feature here with this release. Day 17 is your first workout. So we talked a little bit earlier today about the great functionality on your wrist via your wristwatch, either a Garmin Connect IQ 3.0 watch and above, or the Stryd app on the Apple Watch. Both are great experiences, and they offer step-by-step guidance. Your watch tells you the exact intensity that you need to hit. And if you stray outside of your intensity range, there's no problem. You'll be alerted to move back into the optimal sweet spot during that workout, which allows you to run the workout to your best ability. Again, this workout import is amazing, no matter if you're following the Stryd training plans on, from your mobile app and just following the default Stryd training plans, or you're using your coach's training from another training platform, or you're creating your own workouts yourself. It's a great, great experience. But running your first workout on another training plan, you can absolutely use one of these types of watches for that setup. How well did you complete your workout? This might be something that we look at after a training plan session is done. The Stryd app compares your planned workout against your completed workout to see how well you executed the plan. You can see where you perfected your training and where you can do better for next time. I love this feature because it allows you not only to see where you knocked it out of the park, but to give you information on how you can improve for next time. You can see based on different elevation profiles, different repeats. Was I a little too high? Was I a little too low? You can take this information, instead of looking at it at a negative light, you can say, okay, for next time, I am now armed with more information so I can train better the next time that this workout comes up or the next workout in the cycle. This really peels back the layers and shows you a lot more information about your running. Day 30, so let's say we go through about another 10 days, another 12 days, another 2 weeks or so of training like this, we start to get some really meaningful insights. So we have about 30 days of insights. And insights are these features that we call after you run, you finish the run, you upload the run, and you tag your run. Tagging, I harped on it this morning, but it is such a important thing to include in your normal day-to-day routine. Checking your Stryd app, making sure that you tag all your runs. It gives us information so we can give you more information. So meaningful insights. We can begin to automatically identify insights in your data after around a month of training over that longer period of time. So you might think of things as, how has my leg spring stiffness been trending during tempo runs? What's my typical stress score for an easy run? Am I doing enough easy running to balance my recent training? All of these answers give you the knowledge to make adjustments to your training and compare how far you have progressed. So we can see an example here. If you're watching right now on YouTube or Facebook, you can see some different snippets of what insights look like. Let's look at some specific examples though, and this is actually going to be my data. So for this specific case here, how has my leg spring stiffness been trending during my tempo runs? I included fartleks, intervals, tempo runs, thresholds, and we can see that it's clearly trending up over the last 90 days over these different types of sessions. This is one of my favorite things to do, to go and apply the filter on the calendar page, be able to look at the trends over time. It's an amazing glimpse into any type of metric that you're interested in and any type of consideration that you want to add. Let's see, what's the typical stress score for an easy run? I can see exactly that. If I go to my regular post-run reporting, I tag my run, I can look at my recovery run trends for the last 90 days. I can see things like 38% of my running duration over the preceding 7 days has been from recovery runs. And I can also see the average stress and my stress trend for recovery runs over the last 90 days as well. And am I doing enough easy running to balance my recent training? The recovery insight shows me that on a day like this easy run, it was a easy run after a workout. So my total stress for that day was 70 running stress score compared to my 42-day average, which was 54. This is a little bit higher than would be advisable for normal sustained training. And then if I tag a surface type as trail, I can see all these really cool different insights. So insights are there to give you more information about that specific activity and that specific tagging that you have done for that run. We're going to do a full deep dive into insights later next week. Day 31 through 45. So after about a month of running with Stryd, you've given us a lot of information. We've given you a lot of information. Now what do? You improve your critical power, you keep training hard, and you keep proving to us that your fitness is improving. By this point, you've built a great base using the Stryd training plan. Now you have the opportunity to push your capability during quality workouts. Whenever you set a new best, either in your power output during a workout, a race, a long run, a time trial, your critical power will adapt with your fitness. And improvement to critical power will update your training zones so that they're personalized for your ever-improving fitness. And if you've also added a race at the end of the event calendar for the race calculator, you'll see that projection change over time as your fitness does increase and change. Day 45, let's say a month and a half after you started running with Stryd, you're ready to do another time trial. Before race day comes, you should practice your power target during a time trial or race simulation. A practice session lets you build confidence in your target so you can step up to the start line with race day in mind and know that you are ready to race. You don't have to worry about anything else besides hitting your power target and your goal that you have expertly practiced. You can also use the Stryd Race Power Calculator in the Stryd ecosystem, either in the mobile app, or you can go to stryd.com/powercenter, and you can figure out the maximal power target that you're capable of holding for your race. You can use this as guidance to plan your time trial target. So on the screen right now, if you're watching, we have an example of what a race projection might look like, and then some of the post-run reporting in the Stryd iOS mobile app. Rinse and repeat. This is the basic, fundamental, core concept behind this release, is to get familiar with the whole flow of training with Stryd and keeping your training momentum, and simply springboarding from one plan to the next to just continually build your fitness. You're armed not only with a great training experience and training plan, but full customization based on what you want to do, which I think is a super, super important thing, especially right now if you're focused just on building your fitness or adding in time trials. The new release here is really, really, really crafted around that type of experience. So I'm gonna switch gears and see if there are any questions. If anybody is watching on Instagram Live right now and has any questions, please feel free to send them my way. If producer Gus or producer Kaylee, if you have taken any questions, please feel free to send them my way as well. I'm just gonna scroll here on Instagram and see if there are any questions here. Thanks everybody for tuning in, by the way, too. We're gonna be doing a full week of webinars, not only at the end of this week, so starting tomorrow, all the way through the end of next week. Every day we're gonna have a webinar where we'll be streaming live on Instagram, and we'll be streaming live on YouTube and Facebook as well. I think I saw at least one question in here. A lot of hand waves, which I appreciate, a lot of those hearts. Marcus here asks, what heart rate monitor do you recommend? I don't have a strict personal recommendation, so maybe somebody in the comments can answer that one as well. We have another question here. Is it possible to create a training plan for a cross-country season? Yes. Absolutely. One of the great features here is not only using the Stryd built-in training plans, but being able to use a platform like Final Surge, Training Peaks, or 2Peak, and you can create your own custom power-based workouts and custom training plan and have that experience put into the Stryd ecosystem and be able to run through that experience. And so it's a fantastic, fantastic thing to be able to import whatever you custom design, but then also if you maybe haven't trained with power before, you can use the Stryd built-in training plans. Next question here is, will there be plans to just support your current fitness level? I found that I do not like races over half marathon. Yeah, that's a great question. Right now, like I mentioned, we have the intro plan, the base plan, 5K, 10K, half, and full. So if you aren't interested in necessarily doing races over half marathon, you can do something like a 5K, 10K. You can do a base plan, which really just focuses on consistent volume and a little bit of moderate efforts and a little bit longer runs, building up that long run intensity. But absolutely, there are plans right now for supporting that current fitness level. And you also have the option of programming your own training plan if you import from Final Surge, Training Peaks, or 2Peak. Another question here is, outstanding features. Are you planning instant feedback via Bluetooth earpods? Seems like a good moment to incorporate AI and machine learning to develop a complete automation. Yeah, we're definitely interested in improving that that type of experience. It's not something that we have any specific plans or commitments for right now, but I think that is always a interesting thing to consider. How do you send a workout from Training Peaks over to Stryd? So this question comes from Tracy. Tracy, if you have linked your Training Peaks over to Stryd and you have a training plan, you can sync all your workouts and fetch all your workouts specifically from the Stryd app, the Stryd workout app, or the on your Garmin Connect IQ 3.0 and above, or your Apple Watch in the Stryd app as well. You can just send that over, press the fetch workouts. And I will say that for anybody watching right now too, we do have great help guides. If you go to stryd.com/support, we have a great full walkthrough for all of these features that our team has worked really hard to put together. General question here, is there a link to all daily webinars with scheduled times so I don't miss it? I'm in the West Coast, thanks. Yeah, so we had typically been doing a weekly webinar before this release that had been 2 p.m. Mountain Time on Fridays, typically. When we started doing this big webinar series in about March, we were doing 10 or 11 or 12 p.m. Mountain Time. You can always go to our YouTube page. So if you go to YouTube, just search Stryd, you'll be able to find a full listing of all the webinars we've done, all the YouTube videos and the streams that we have done as well. We don't have a super set time right now, but typically we'll try and do a little bit in the afternoon. Typically Mountain Time is what we find works pretty well. Let's see, does it have a specific training program to get me prepared to run a sub 3-hour marathon? This is a great question. This is something that we had definitely talked about. We don't have a sub 3 marathon plan right now. There are great options on platforms like Training Peaks, Final Surgeon 2 Peak to have coaches that are experts to write plans specifically for an individual with a certain goal. But it is something that we are really interested in potentially developing in the future. So yeah, if the goal is to build yourself up for New York or Boston, that is definitely going to be something that we would like to have in the future for plans. And again, this is so exciting, this first release, this first day that we can talk about it. I've, like I mentioned earlier today, I have been using all these features for a while, helping the team develop and test and stuff, and to finally be able to talk about them and to be able to put this stuff out there is a super great thing. So that looks like it for all the questions here on Instagram Live, and I don't see any more that are sent to us from the Facebook or YouTube stream. So if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to comment on any of these videos. We will absolutely answer them. And we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time for another live stream. We're going to be talking more in depth about the watch experience in Stryd. That wraps it up for today. We'll be back tomorrow. See everybody then. Have a great one.